Hi, everybody. It is October 9, 2024. Already, before the hurricane came on land, which it's near making landfall, although it has made landfall. Well, you'll see. They've had so many tornadoes that has caused damage. Streets are flooded before the storm surge. A whole lot of mess already. And there's going to be an awful lot of mess as the night goes on. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining Analog Synth Player, Crazy Potts, and Alicia DeMoss, Geofactor 3, Andrew Cruz, James B., Shauna Howard, Michael Mossberg. Yeah, things are getting very crazy. They've been crazy for a very long time, but the crazy just keeps adding up, right? Tom, Christopher, Julie, T. Lamb. All right. Yeah, I know. So many warnings, so many watches, so many tornadoes that actually came about. Oracle 11, Barb in Ohio. Hi. And Patricia White. Vihar. Hi. DS88, Vincent. So, yeah, it does look, it looks like it's kind of come in early. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. So, no, you can't see it. Really? So that was supposed to be going straight through Central Florida, but they do seem to have frequencies that have been hitting it, keeping it from going any further west, which I captured earlier. So the eye, it doesn't look like it's going to be hitting Tampa, a direct hit on Tampa. South of Tampa, isn't that Sarasota area? I believe it is. But wow, this is mighty big. Mighty big. Look at these frequencies. Total precipitable water. Look at these frequencies that are taking place. And I don't know exactly what these frequencies are, but they're very powerful. And these look like they're coming from some HARP or HARP-like facility. Look at this. Look at these hits. That's not good. Not good. So, an awful lot is going on. And life is truly being destroyed on this planet. Look at this cloud. Where is the eye? The eye has been lost. We don't have an eye in this hurricane, and we haven't for several hours. They might be trying to carve one out now. Look at these clouds up here. Well, they are very defined, and a little bit of cloud is getting through here in the northeasterly direction, but right on the border of Montana, up here in Canada, this cloud mass at the bottom is being stopped. None of this, and you know it full well, is natural. So let's just take a peek and let's take a closer peek. So we still have the extremely low frequency right here, but I'm going to show you the captures that I've taken, and you'll be able to see this, but you see this straight line right here. You've got frequencies up here in Georgia, but I have to say I don't know what those frequencies are. You have an extremely long frequency hitting, well, the hurricane that's in the Atlantic. And yeah, somebody posted a tweet of their flooded streets, and they live on the east coast of Florida. Flooded streets. Okay, so if you can see the straight lines, let me pull it up. Right in here, those are extremely low frequencies. This baby is manufactured. So this was at 2, which means 4:29 p.m. for Florida. You can see the frequency hits right here. It's like a, okay. Here is the extremely low frequency. That's coming out of Georgia. Look at this cloud mass. It's ridiculous. And where is the eye? You can't see an eye. All right. And of course, the winds are going in opposite directions, making an awful lot of chaos, perhaps bringing about massive tornadoes. Where's the eye? No. And if you take a closer look, I don't want to spend much time on this. If you take a closer look, you can see the defined edges in this hurricane, which, no, Mother Nature does not use a ruler to create her weather events. Okay, so you have frequencies right here, which look like microwaves. You have an extremely low frequency coming out of the panhandle. You've got an extremely low frequency up here in Georgia. You have these, what I absolutely do believe are nanobots that are going in a clear opposite direction. In a clear opposite direction. Here's the extremely low frequency that has been constant all day. But what are we looking at right here? Where my arrow is, you see this? It looks like worms coming out of this. I guess we're going to call these the hurricane bands. The extremely low frequencies blasting away in South Carolina. But right here, we see this whole green line of precipitation. Here's an extremely low frequency. Just kind of on its own, swimming out of the hurricane in an opposite direction. Okay, so yeah, you can see it. You can also see the frequencies right above it. Yeah, that's clearly not natural. And then it disappears. And here are your microwaves. So I don't think it's that hard to comprehend that weather is being controlled at this point. And this was at 4:13 my time, so I think they're 2 hours ahead, but they could be 3 hours ahead, Florida. Well, radar shows you a nice eye, but satellite doesn't. All right. A friend evacuated to Alabama. She was right in the path. Denise, hi. I hope your friend is okay and her property will be okay. All right. We're going to get into it. So first I'm going to start with the live cams, and I'm going to put the links in. Should you want to, come on. Okay. Tune in. This is Sarasota, Florida. The shakiness is the winds hitting the camera. This is Clearwater, Florida, Sarasota, Tampa, Florida. But now it's nighttime. Okay. All right. This is also, well, this is AP. So if you just put in live cam and then the location that you want to see, you'll be able to find live cams. But Tampa is having quite a lot of wind right now, but not much rain. Well, that was the traditional hurricane, right? It's a wind event. Electricity is still on. That's good. But apparently it hasn't made landfall yet. I mean, when you look at this, it's over Tampa. All of this is over. But, well, and I just listened to a news broadcast, and the woman said that it wouldn't be there for hours. This got here pretty quickly, and I have to tell you, this is looking like maybe next, by 7 o'clock, it'll be making landfall. So, yeah. Fort Myers, was this? Fort Myers. This was earlier, but it's still, well, as you can see, nighttime. Earth cams are not so great. Naples, Inglewood Beach cam. Surf is a little rough. And Dunedin, Florida, Fort Myers. So in a lot of these places, which was a little surprising considering these tornadoes that were coming about, it was looking pretty calm. Turner Beach. Okay, so, and yeah. Can I even listen to this again? I guess I will have to, since I can't believe. I hate these people. I'm beginning to hate these people. I feel something. It's contempt. Is it? Is it repulsion? It's not a good feeling. Listen to this.
Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman from Georgia, is now saying the federal government is literally controlling the weather. We're controlling the weather. It's beyond ridiculous. It's got to stop. Moments like this, there are no red or blue states. There's one United States of America, where neighbors are helping neighbors. Volunteers and first responders are risking everything, including their own lives, to help their fellow Americans. State, local, and federal officials are standing side by side. Let me repeat, no one should make the American people question whether their governments will make sure that this is acting on its strikes. They'll be there. We will.
What?
Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie to ensure that this is acting on its strikes. They'll be there. We will. Now the claims are getting...
Okay. Right? Okay. I'm at a loss for words because all we hear, are people attacking someone else. It's been on mainstream media. We know that man can control weather. China is a big, weather modifier. I mean, the claims are getting more bizarre. It's not bizarre. Who the hell could listen to this and believe him? I'd like to know. Disgusting, subhuman thing. And this, okay, already, Florida. Malaysia? Is that Malaysia? In Florida. They sure will have power outages. Bill Gates funding Tampa? Really?
Well, yes, Tampa, Florida is on the list to become a new 15-minute city. It will happen through the Tampa Moves plan. Yes, you heard me right. Tampa, Florida is on the list to become a new 15-minute city. That's right. The 40 acres of waterfront property is owned by none other than Bill Gates through an investment fund. Waterfront property in Tampa, Florida. And thanks to Patriot Voice for that little Bill Gates part of the story. I knew that Tampa was on the list among Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine. There's a bunch of other cities right now that are sort of on that target list to become 15-minute cities, and Tampa is one of them. And right now, of course, in the eye of a hurricane, but again, Patriot's Voice, I didn't realize Bill Gates was actually behind it and the funding for it. But that shouldn't surprise any of us, right?
No, it really shouldn't surprise any of us. Link is in the chat. It's more information from Redacted. But can you imagine having experienced a hurricane just like 10 days ago, and now this is what you're experiencing again in like 10, 12 days?
Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is calling for evacuation to level A through C. You are in a level A area. Sarasota County has issued an evacuation for your area. To schedule transportation to an evacuation center, call 311. We are expecting severe storm surge which could exceed 16 feet. You must evacuate now.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of ambulances. This is what they're living. Now, I don't know. Yeah, I saw this. I was like, that can't be, because I didn't see it on radar. But apparently some radar is showing a spontaneous mass weather system ahead of Hurricane Milton. Maybe I missed it because this was obviously a long time ago today. Two separate systems. I guess this is the eye wall. This is the eye wall. What are we looking at? Mapbox AccuWeather. I didn't see that. Did any of you see it? This is Fort Myers today. And that was hours ago. These are the winds. Tornado warnings issued all over Florida. Tornado warnings. That's a lot. And there were more after this. Naples already flooded. This was yesterday. Can't play that. Copyright. Wow. That was before the storm surge. So what's going on? The little bit of rain created that? No, something else is going on. Clewiston, Florida. Massive cell tornado. Are you kidding? Yeah. Florida Everglades, Miles City, Andytown. Since when have tornadoes been included in hurricanes? Okay. It's like, well, rain, severe weather includes everything. The hail, the straight line winds, the high winds, the flash flooding, tornadic activity. Now we get it with hurricanes. This is the damage in Palm Beach Gardens. And Floridians Let me know. Palm Beach Gardens, isn't that on the East Coast? I thought it was. Hurricane Milton is still out in the Gulf. This was several hours ago. Fort Myers, tornado. Again, same thing. Hours before Milton arrives. But here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the amount of fungal disease on this palm tree. Yes. Geoengineering is not happening. Weather modification, you're just crazy if you think that man can control the weather. Crazy, you're crazy. Mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence that man is controlling the weather, but you're crazy. Look at this. Now, they can actually take planes and load tornadoes, load them with debris to make them far more dangerous. And that's what I think I'm looking at. Never Lose Truth. Somewhere on that channel, I have a video with the documents showing that they can load tornadoes with debris. But you do see it's two right next to one another, right? Okay, good. Look at this. Two large tornadoes producing supercells moving north in southern Florida right now. Okay. Milton hasn't even arrived yet. And yes, there are patents, hurricane and tornado control patents. I do have on my channel, Never Lose Truth, and playlists, how they can create tornadoes. Okay, weather modification by artificial satellite goes through all of the particular frequencies that you need to create an awful lot of chaos in the atmosphere by moving the air masses in different directions, opposite directions, or in the same direction, but different speeds. And voila, you got a tornado. With those frequencies, however, they can weaken the tornado or intensify it. What do you think they're doing? Fort Myers, Florida. I think you saw that. But here we go, 2 minutes ago. I don't know why they title it that way, but here is Undersphere. The tornadoes, huge.
Hurricane Milton spawns tornadoes in Florida.
No, like you did. Oh yeah, look at that.
A tornado struck Florida on Wednesday, just hours before Hurricane Milton was projected to make landfall, raising concerns about severe weather conditions across the state.
It's been a long time since we've been out of Colorado.
The tornado tore through southern Florida, first appearing just north of Alligator Alley in Collier County. Traffic cameras later captured it making its way near Alligator Alley, just west of Weston in Broward County.
Do you see how big these things are?
Florida on Wednesday, just ahead of Hurricane Milton's expected landfall. Massive damage in areas like Colonial.
I'll post the link if you want to catch any more. They had a lot of tornadoes in Florida. A lot. Prior to Milton. Tornadoes are breaking out all over Florida ahead of Hurricane Milton, Fort Myers, Hendry County, Loretta, St. Petersburg, Cape Coral, Miccosukee, just to name a few. And the cranes are speaking up. These are cranes, right? Look at this. Sand crane. Is that normal behavior to walk down the street sounding like that? They do it here all the time. In some places, it's normal, yes. They just walk down the street. Most are banded. Wow. How about birds dying, falling on a cruise ship? What do you think this might be from? Hey, I give you one guess.
Wind's in the east, mist coming in. Like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store. I feel what's to happen. All happened before.
A cruise ship that ported out of Tampa, and the birds just falling dead on the deck. Could it be electromagnetic frequencies? I can't stand seeing this. I can't stand it. Okay. Apparently, this scared these owners of the property more than Milton, but something is falling out of the sky, landing on their lawn. It's raining, but this thing is smoking. Right here.
What the heck is that? Just out of nowhere. Something started smoking in my yard.
And it's smoking for a while. The rain is not putting it out. What is it? What, pray tell, could it be?
I mean, nobody really would have a fire right now because it's pouring down rain again. I'm going out there. I'm going out there. I can't stand it. I gotta know what it is. Oh, this grass. This grass is so bad.
But you can see the smoke, right?
Maybe it's
What is it?
plasma? Plasma fire? Okay. Look at this. Look at this heading to St. Lucie County. It's big. It's big. Cutting right over a highway. Yeah. Okay. When man controls the weather, man can bring about anything. Okay. So you want to listen to your stupid, well, so many curse words come to mind when I think about that guy. It's bizarre. It's bizarre to think that man can control the weather. It's bizarre. What is bizarre is that he's in the White House and he's president. And he's been lying his entire career. Lying. That's what Joe Biden does best, lie. But hey, believe him. Someone tied a dog up to a fence and left it there in Tampa.
Philadelphia 1313 to the city office on the border.
But it's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Philadelphia 1313 to the city office on the border.
The dog was rescued by that officer, and then there's pictures of the dog in the back of the car. Who does this kind of stuff? What are we living? I can't stand it. Oh. Tornado sweeps over bridge. Look at this. This is not what I would love to be in. Florida, not at all.
The thunderstorm moves over that area too. This is a very dangerous situation.
Trent, look at the water on the right side.
See the water here? Right there. Right there's your rotation. That is the actual. There it is.
Oh, wow.
There it is. There it comes. So again, right to east. That is the potential waterspout, potential tornado moving right over the Matt Lachey Bridge. Boy, look at this picking up, guys.
This is why you shouldn't be on the roads right now.
This is a great reminder that this vehicle is stuck right in the middle. This is why we told you guys you had to evacuate early this morning. So we have is moving right over the Matt Lachey Bridge.
Wow.
Under the press microphone.
Yeah, all mics are on. So, man, those first responders, you see, this isn't even really the thick of it, right? These are just those first.
That looks pretty nasty and scary. Miami International Airport was evacuated today due to a suspicious package. So you did have people going from the West Coast to the East Coast to Miami, hoping to get a flight out because Tampa Airport closed down yesterday. Orlando was closing down today, and now they evacuate Miami International Airport.
What's going on?
Chaos, 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 chaos. Okay? That's what we're going to be living over and over and over again. But listen to this. So we're going electric. We're going digital. Don't you think the jury's in that we should be abandoning that and going in the opposite direction and giving up on lithium batteries?
Point out to you, this is a storm surge event. This was not as much a windstorm, but a storm surge. One of the threats that we're very concerned with is lithium-ion battery technologies. That's EVs, golf carts, scooters. These devices do not mix well with salt water. We've had 16 fires already in the Pinellas, Tampa Bay area from EV-related flood effects where the device has caught fire, and we had some circumstances where the house has actually burned down. The EVs, about 6 of them so far, have set houses on fire. If you own an EV, if it did have flooding, the best thing you can do is call your insurance company and then have it towed away. The tow truck operators will have a safe place to take it while your claim is being settled. But what you don't want to risk is that lithium ion battery, the product in your garage on charge, and now the power's turned back on. It creates what's called a thermal runaway. That means it will burn until it doesn't have any fuel left. You can't put it out with water. Ultimately, that could lead to harming you, your household, or a first responder. So please understand those items and salt water do not mix, and you need to take an extra precaution, as we've already had a series of fires that are lithium ion battery related. Again, please.
Sorry. If you have a car that has a lithium battery, call and get your car towed to a safe place. Okay. No problem. This is the world that has come about. This is the world that has come about. Are you flippin' kidding me? All of the debris from Hurricane Helene, again, they didn't get an awful lot of it put away into landfills.
To see my community the way it is right now, and this is from Hurricane Helene. I mean, look behind me. There's trash. There's so much household items from families that call this area home here in Snell Isle, and everything that they own is littered out on their front lawns. And while the big priority from Governor Ron DeSantis has been to get a lot of this debris removed, and he said there's been 12,000 truckloads of debris removed within 48 hours, you can still see how much is left. And the storm surge for this storm could be at least what we saw from Hurricane Helene in neighborhoods like this one in St. Petersburg and Snell Isle, which was near 7 feet of storm surge, which means all of the items that are here on front lawns are going to be either projectiles in 110 mile per hour winds or floating in the streets, given how much storm surge we can see here. Now,
so apparently there was this spontaneous eruption of a weather of, this is Hurricane Milton, where the 5 is. So there was another, but where did it go? I guess they just hooked up, and that's why it's so huge. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of problems with this hurricane. Well, you would expect a lot of problems when you have back-to-back hurricanes. Has this ever happened in Florida or anywhere? 2 major hurricanes back-to-back. Okay. So apparently people are having difficulty getting their gas stations to give them gas when they actually have the gas at the gas station.
Look what they're doing in Florida. They're price gouging. They're wrapping all the gas pumps, showing that there is no gas. But somebody is smart enough to rip them open and show that there is gas. Pump your gas and get out of here. Every gas station does have gas. They're making it look like there is no gas. Look at this. There's no line, no nothing. Then there's just people smart enough to know to rip off the fucking saran wrap and get to your car and get the gas. This is what your fucking country is doing to you in the middle of an emergency. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And they're stopping people from the Appalachians getting all their resources that they need. They're already trying to stop everybody in Florida. And the people who are stuck in Florida, they feel like they're stuck even further. Now they're stuck further behind. They have no way. There's no way to get out now. People who are going to get out and evacuate, there's no way for anybody to get out. This is crazy shit. This is what this world has come to. Be ready.
Why we can't evacuate. This needs to change, doesn't it? Well, I don't think it's going to change. I think it's just going to continue on this way. The greedy motherfuckers who, a whole lot of people are going to want to take flights out of Florida. Let's make money.
I'm about to show you why it's almost impossible for anyone to evacuate, and it will piss you off.
One-way ticket, American Airlines from Fort Lauderdale to Columbus, $812 a person, what normally should be less than $200. $1,000 a person, $1,700, $2,100 a person.
My wife's flight was canceled for tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. The only other flights out of the entire state of Florida right now are out of Fort Lauderdale, and they're jacking their prices up. But hey, you can just drive, right?
People are wondering about evacuation and why when typically gas out of stock, when you typically get the evacuation orders, it's already too late. Most of the gas stations where I'm at, as well as other counties and cities, are completely out of gas.
By the time the evacuation orders are going into place, people that are living in trailer parks, they can't afford that plane ticket out of here. They can't afford to be stuck in standstill traffic on I-4 and 75, risking their life over fuel because it's not available. The fact that people are able to price gouge these emergency evacuation tickets to these airlines, ridiculous. The airlines need to be held accountable for this, and I am going to push for DeSantis to get something like this put into place. They should not be able to price gouge. There should be a mandatory lock-in on a flatline fee evacuating flights out of the state of Florida, no more than $100 per person. This is crazy. I'm about to show you.
Fort Lauderdale, for those who don't know, is on the East Coast. So for people wanting to evacuate, especially those who have the mandatory evacuation orders, they'd have to drive hours to Fort Lauderdale to get a flight out. This is not the first time that I've heard this. I've heard it from other people that there was almost no way to evacuate, even if they wanted to. This is so sad. Okay. People are on their horses, writing their telephone numbers on the horse and letting the horse loose. Getting all of the livestock, the chickens, the horses, the goats, the on and on and on, out of Florida, it's nearly impossible. So, yeah. Well, we're going to listen to this woman who she might be in the Tampa area. Let's listen.
Me and Mr. Cash are going to give you guys a hurricane update. So many of you have reached out with love, and I'm so grateful. And so many of you needed to know where we're located in relation to Milton. So I'm trying to answer everybody, but I figured a video would be better. We are in the direct path that this hurricane is supposed to hit. Thankfully, we are not on the coast. We're located, see my support team, we're located in Central Florida. We are in Claremont, so you can track that on the map. We are located between Tampa and Orlando, and it's supposed to hit Tampa. We're not evacuating, and please don't ask me to. All these animals are children. And I've raised most of them. We've raised most of them since birth. And we're not leaving them. And we're not in an evacuation zone because we're not near the water. But it's going to be bad. And there was no way to evacuate the animals because there's nowhere to take them. This whole state's getting hit, and we can't take them out of state because we don't have health certificates yet for everybody. So we're staying put. And we've done all the preparing we can. But the hardest preparing is my heart. And I'm gonna get trampled here. Why are you pushing me, girl? We'll just go under her. It's supposed to hit at night. And for those of you that don't know, because I know everyone's going to say put them in a barn, the safest place for animals during a hurricane is not in a barn, because that could come down on them and it could be deadly. The safest place is to leave them loose, which as a parent is hard to do, because things will be flying with this force of this hurricane. Trees are going to be going down everywhere, and it's going to be dark and the animals can't see. So it's really hard. It's hard in my mama heart. I'm trying to keep myself distracted today so I don't just... rest assured, Cash will be in the house. I have baby chickens. They will be in the house. The dogs will be in the house. The cat will be in the house. I'm still working on Rick to bring the baby cows in the house. If it was up to me, you know, I'd like throw all our furniture out the door and just make our house a barn, but that's not practical. So just whatever you guys believe in, pray for the whole state, not just us. Pray for the whole state, because this is the worst storm we've ever seen. Ever. And Rick's lived here his whole life and been through every hurricane. And this is the first hurricane that has him scared. So please, just pray or send good energy, because we need it. And I will keep you guys updated. I don't know if we'll have power or phones or what, but I will keep you guys updated as much as I can, so you don't worry. But I will do whatever it takes to keep this little guy safe, even if I have to throw myself on him again.
So a lot of people are really going through an awful lot. And everybody has different circumstances. And, you know, clearly she cares an awful lot about her animals. But there are so many. God, I read the comments. I'm like, holy shit. These comments coming from people who don't even know who these people are, what their circumstances are, and boy, do they hit them hard with judgment. Like, well, yeah. So, I hate what this country has become. So I'm going to let me see if I have it on. I think I do. No. This is just some stuff also that is going on. And then we'll get back to Milton. Unbelievably, there are teachers in Texas who are administering sleeping supplements to their elementary students. Okay.
Not out of the ordinary for Lisa Luviano's daughter to come home from school with something to show. On September 24th, it was this sticker with a Starry Night-like design.
She said it's a sleeping sticker. And I asked her, where do you get this? She's like, well, my teacher gives it to me for sleeping time.
Luviano says her daughter then claimed other classmates get it too.
The next day we went up to the school, we bought the evidence up there. We filed a report. We did say we wanted to file criminal charges if this is something that's true.
The expectation was the school would notify other parents, but nearly 2 weeks went by and Luviano grew increasingly concerned. She decided to loop them in on her own by sending a mass text. When Najla Abdullah got it, she began to question her 4-year-old, asking him if he ever got, quote, a special sticker.
He said, yes, mommy, I get a special sticker. I said, what does the sticker look like? He said, I get it right here on my hand. And it has the storms with the clouds and the stars and the moon.
Formal notification from Spring ISD came today, exactly 2 weeks after Luviano reported the incident. In a statement to ABC 13, they said they were aware of allegations that 2 staff members allegedly administered sleeping supplements to students on September 24th. They went on to say both have been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation.
Now all the parents are here. We want answers. You know what I mean?
ABC 13 caught parents confronting an assistant superintendent for the district outside the school today. We later spoke with him and another administrator who called the district's delayed communication a, quote, failure. Luviano and her husband, Joseph, want to see criminal charges come from this.
I would too. But here, this is a different news broadcast. But apparently, because the school wasn't doing anything, the parents got the stickers identified with whatever chemicals were in these things.
Tired?
Yeah.
Wow. And all the kids get them?
Yeah. They never notified the parents.
So Lisa took matters into her own hands. She reached out to the other parents in Lane's class, sent them pictures of the patch to see if their kids were getting the stickers too.
I showed it to my 4-year-old, and she said, yes, that's the sleepy sticker.
Melissa Guilford immediately went online to research the sticker.
Sleep Z patch. Okay, so, and if you read the ingredients on them, it has a lot of, it's just things I've never even heard of.
And they're giving them drugs to make them sleep, to keep them quiet.
Najala Abdullah tells us she'd noticed changes in her son, who told her he'd been getting the stickers too. She says he'd been crying, stopped eating, and was bringing home lunches that he hadn't touched. The parents shared with us an email they received from Northgate Crossing Elementary's principal today. The email states 2 of the school's staff members were put on leave after they...
Do you think we have something wrong with an awful lot of adults in our country? America's largest water utility hit by cyber attack at time of rising threats against U.S. infrastructure. I will tell you, the U.S. government has known that we were very vulnerable to cyber attacks for decades. They never did anything about it. American Water, the largest water utility in the U.S. Camden, New Jersey-based company learned of unauthorized activity in our computer networks and systems. Okay, let's just listen to this man. Not me.
Folks, Jeremy Harrell, LFA TV. I know it's early, but we've got some breaking news that you definitely need to hear. And it just goes to show you how horrible this administration is at handling crises, or maybe even allowing crises to happen. I mean, how could you have so many different crises going on at one time leading up to an election and on the cusp of World War III? But folks, just in, America's largest supplier of drinking water has just been hacked. And I think it's kind of odd that during major hurricane season, where we're seeing storms of which we haven't seen in a long time, people being affected to the tune of millions that need fresh drinking water, that LFA TV and many, many disaster relief organizations are trying to get down to these affected areas. And the largest supplier in the U.S. of drinking water, of potable water, has just been hacked. Are you kidding me? American Water Works is the name of the company. It's the largest supplier of drinking water, and its computer systems were just hacked. The New Jersey-based company provides drinking water to more than 14 million people across 14 different states.
Do you really think that all of this is I don't want to say accidental. Obviously, any kind of hack is intentional, but that all of this is happening pretty much at the same time. We have so much going on in this country. So many Americans are worried, or forget about worried, suffering the consequences, just surviving. And it's coming to us at breakneck speed now. What is it going to be tomorrow? Well, we're going to see an awful lot of damage in Florida. That's for sure. Well, here, the waters in North Carolina.
Okay, so we've gathered water samples over the past couple of days. This came out of the Lake Lure. This is our baseline sample. We don't think there's any contamination in there. There was a lot of debris in the water, but we'll see what we find from there. This is Echo Lake. This was guarded by the National Guard. They're not letting people in there. Reports of chemical spills and wash-offs in this water. So we couldn't get in on ground, so we flew over the top of them on a helicopter, landed on the dam, grabbed the water sample, and took off. And then we took a fixed-wing plane over to Tennessee in the dam. This is where all the water from this location funnels into that river and at the dam, and we pulled that out the next day. So we're going to send these off, get the samples analyzed, and we should have them back in 24 hours and see what we have.
Wyoming, the fires. On 2 live streams, I have mentioned the fires. I didn't think that it was just going to explode. Well, it has exploded. And this is Hustle Beach. Okay. Oh, boy. 75,000 acres. Now it's more. Can you guess what they're going after? Okay.
If you haven't heard, Wyoming's on fire. And what's interesting is the majority of it is on the eastern side of Wyoming. Now, just for reference, the yellow part of this map is federally owned land, and the white part is privately owned. These major fires are all in the privately owned sectors. Now, what does this mean? So a recent discovery claims that there is approximately 2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals near Wheatland, Wyoming, which is on fire. Now, with this supply of rare earth minerals, we would be the leading holder in the entire world. Now, where is Wheatland? Right there in the southeast corner of Wyoming, where the worst of the fires are. Now, this won't be an overnight transition. Many proposals still face months, if not years, before work is final. But the citizens of Wyoming are poised to fight long and hard against these mines. Now, what started these wildfires? So a wet or an area with an abundance of fuels just so happened to get hit by lightning and ignited the fuel. And the state's notoriously strong winds are driving the flames, making it even worse. Sounds kind of like the perfect storm. So I don't know, people, you could put 2 and 2 together here. We have a location that could be the leading source of rare earth minerals in a certain part of Wyoming that a lot of people are against mining, and now they're being told to evacuate. I can't say much more, but look into this. I think it will shock you.
Wow. Wow. It's happening all over. Here we go.
Fucking A. We're done. We're fucking done.
Well.
Fucking A. We're done. We're fucking done.
happened to that?
This?
It looked as if those, was that elk? I think elk. They were trapped. Were they running along a fence line trying to get away from the fire? I think they were. All right.
Can somebody tell me why the entire state of Wyoming is on fire right now and nobody even knows this? Multiple counties have been affected with over 100,000 acres on fire with zero containment. Now you're asking yourself, what is going on with these natural disasters and smart cities and land grabs? You guys, I looked into this one. This is the biggest one yet. First, let's start with where the biggest fires are, starting with the Elk Fire with over 74,000 acres currently on fire. Elk is located in the Sheridan County, and the other counties on fire is the Telton County and the Fremont County with 58,000 acres combined with zero containment. This list shows all the fires that happened this year in Wyoming from the start date and containment date and what caused them. Some were caused by human activity and some, like this one, was caused by lightning, but I'll reserve judgment on that. But here's a weird thing about the last two. So the Telton County and the Fremont County actually merged together on October 5th, but started in August 16th. Now, it's not so much that the fires merge, that happens all the time, and these two counties are next to each other, but it's the timing. It's 2 months later, and you had multiple containments in between these fires. Now, you could say this is a land grab, with Wyoming being number 6 with the most land owned by the federal government with over 46%, but it's way more nefarious than that. Now, you remember that first county I showed you, Sheraton, with over 70,000 acres on fire? Yeah, they just found the biggest deposit of rare earth minerals worth $37 billion. Now, the question is, does the government own this land? It says here the Sheraton County, Wyoming is a governmental entity that operates under the jurisdiction of the state of Wyoming, but it is not owned by the U.S. government. Now, another question is, can the government take this land? It says the government can take private property during a disaster under the power of eminent domain, which allows for the acquisition of the property for public use provided that the owner is compensated. However, this typically occurs when the property is needed for emergency response efforts. Oh, like a fire caused by lightning? Got it. Oh, it doesn't stop there. So the company Wyoming Rare got $450 million from the feds for their Hollow Creek project because they found even more rare earth minerals on the other side of Wyoming. This is a tens of billions of dollars play because they said it's so big that it could be a world leader of how much minerals they have. You really have to ask yourself, how many coincidences have to line up before it's not a coincidence?
It's obvious that an awful lot of people are getting or have known, I don't know these people, that something's very wrong in our country and that maybe a lot of these fires and the flooding and the hurricanes are purposeful. Yeah, to steal land for smart cities and 15-minute cities and for the elite. I think that they're going to gut Florida. It's going to become so unbelievably expensive. So for those who haven't had their homes completely demolished, tornadoes and hurricanes and flooding, it'll become too expensive for you to stay there. I think they want that whole strip of Florida for the elite. But Wyoming, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, California. What's going on in our country? October for these fires in Wyoming? Seems a little odd, right?
Fire burning in the Bighorn Mountains in northern Wyoming. Now, since the fire began, ranchers have been busy getting their cattle off of the mountain and back home to safety. Sunday night, I talked with one of those ranchers, Nate Kane, who described the fire's impact on their summer Forest Service permits.
This mountain permit for us, and it is for every permittee up there, it's a big part of our overall operation. That's not all we have, but it's a big part of it. And that'll be some meetings I'm sure we're going to be having with the Forest Service this winter, hopefully this winter and early next spring, and seeing to the.
I think this fire has demonstrated bizarreness. Look, it's only on the ground and hasn't even touched the tip of very dry brush, right? Why? Why is that? Plasma fires. Jeff Snyder 2. Check out his channel.
Next spring, and seeing to the deferment and how long they're going to defer us off of it. But it is going to make a big impact to our entire grazing strategy.
He said luckily they didn't lose any cattle in the fire, and talked about what he saw as they trailed their cattle off of the mountain this weekend.
We didn't go through any big crazy flames or anything, but there was dang sure fire around us. The trees all burned off. I mean, just torched in a lot of areas. It doesn't even look like the same place. It's not what it's looked like over the last how many generations. There hasn't been a good big fire up there. It's gonna be different for the generations to come. But fire, it's bad when it's happening, but a lot of the times it's gonna get some good grass production going up there.
Check out Jeff Snyder 2. This is looking pretty much like a plasma fire coming from underneath the ground. The spottiness of this fire, well, the fire certainly would have taken out this patch of grass and other patches of grass.
In Teton County, the Pack Trail fire that merged with the Fish Creek fire over the
Merging fires also in Wyoming. So you have the Elk Fire, the Pack Trail Fire, the Fish Creek fires.
weekend has now reached 58,000 acres in size with 0% containment, according to fire authorities and watch duty. Monday morning, the Deputy Operations Section Chief Trainee, Alan Schultze, with California Incident Management Team 10, gave an update on the fire.
Yesterday, most of the fire activity that we witnessed was here on the southeast or southwest side of the fire, along Division Kilo. The fire is still trying to move to the south.
If you're interested, the link is in the chat. But the stealing, the evil, the destruction, the people have to get that the evil literally are not like us. They're kind of like a whole other species. They can do whatever it takes to get what they want. Anybody standing in their way, destroy them. Oh, that's how our country was started. That's right. Remember? Oh, yeah. The Anglo-Saxon Protestants from Europe came over and plowed their way through this country, killing a whole lot of Native Americans, destroying their land, get them out. Yeah. Wow. It just never stopped, huh? I guess not. Guess not. Oh, another brush fire starts. Beverly Crest, Los Angeles.
Breaking news for you, a brush fire in Beverly Crest. Let's go straight to Mark Liu at the assignment desk with more. Mark, what do we know about this fire?
Yeah, so LA City Fire, along with the Beverly Hills Fire Department, have got eyes on this one. They have fire crews there. It's about 30 minutes old. This is happening in Franklin Canyon. This is near Hillcrest Drive. There's an absolutely enormous mansion on the top of the hill here on Hillcrest Drive. I was just looking it up, and you can see LA City Fire, they're on scene. They say this is about 1 acre of medium to heavy brush. It's burning in a very slow rate of spread with low wind conditions. That's just about the best possible news that you can hear about at a brush fire that is burning on a hillside. Now, the
I'm sure they have that fire contained. Weather modification is very, very real. How do we begin to change our fellow Americans when we know that we can't change anyone? They have to want to change. They have to want to expand their brain. They have to want to open their mind. They have to want to grow up, become mature adults, and engage in adult conversation. Wouldn't it be wonderful if there was a way that we could actually do that, so that people who listen to Biden and claim that Marjorie Taylor Greene is bizarre for retweeting a mainstream media news broadcast? It was mainstream media talking about weather modification. That's what is really bizarre. Okay.
To manipulate the weather. That's a fact. You can look it up. Since the 1960s, we've been able to control and even weaponize the weather. That's a fact. You can look it up. In the 1970s, the United States Congress put forth a bill to regulate weather manipulators. That's right. In case you had some sort of a weather manipulation tool, the United States government wanted you to register it with the United States government and get a license for it. On November 13th, 1946, pilot Curtis Talbot, working for the General Electric Research Laboratory, he climbed up to the top of a local peak, 14,000 feet high near Schenectady. I love that name. Near Schenectady, New York. Talbot, along with another researchers, released just 3 pounds of dry ice into the clouds, high above Schenectady. And suddenly it began to swirl. Suddenly ice crystals formed, and then it started to snow. Big snow. Was a result of that. The first man-made snowstorm just after World War II. Then experiments continued into rain and manipulation of tornadoes and hurricanes, and it came quietly. Then came Project Cirrus, which has been recently declassified. 1947, U.S. experiment along with the United States Navy, the Army, General Electric. They attempted to control hurricanes using cloud seeding. It was aimed at reducing the severity of storms. But guess what? It did the exact opposite, and efforts actually redirected a hurricane right towards Georgia. Look at the path of this hurricane. They started seeding the clouds after the hurricane had already gone through the southern tip of Florida, and it was heading out to sea, moving away from Florida. It literally redirected it away from Florida. Then once they started seeding the clouds, look at this. It redirected it back into Georgia, bringing devastation to Georgia.
Now, any adult who's watching that and backs away and just says, that guy's crazy, if they don't check it out for themselves, and it's easy enough to verify, something's wrong with them. They're mentally ill. But the link is in the chat should any of you want to circulate it. Yeah. And Press for Truth also. So many people are posting on weather modification now that it's good to see. But boy, this has been a hard road, huh?
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and the footage that you're looking at right here is drone footage showing Hurricane Milton making its way to Florida. It should arrive by tonight or tomorrow morning as of the making of this video. People are preparing for this right now in unprecedented, never before seen ways, like literally strapping down their entire house as this Category 5 hurricane Milton is now barreling towards the Tampa Bay area.
So now they're claiming it's going to be a Category 3, but whatever Category 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, The destruction is going to be felt, very real. I put the link in, and he goes through a lot of the, weather modification documents and articles, and oh boy. Debris ball from this tornado is potentially 2 miles plus wide. Debris can be from a plane dropped into a tornado to expand the tornado and bring about a lot of destruction. Vero Beach, rare tornado for Florida. This is a large destructive tornado. And yeah, in case you're wondering why the FEMA response to the hurricane was terrible, this is their training. Why start with white supremacy and race? Every federal agency is on board with DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and FEMA. White supremacy is an ideology, a pattern of values and beliefs that are ingrained in nearly every system and institution in the United States. Yeah. Well, FEMA had on their website as a major priority diversity, equity, inclusion. How did we get to this point? Now, I'm just going to link below to this article, How to Steer Hurricanes, Flood Homes, and Steal Lithium. I hate the repeat of life now. I really do. Project Cirrus. Good article that, well, might want to circulate it. Just a few minutes, but I will link below to this interview with Dane Wigington. Link is in the chat. You might want to circulate it.
But you're seeing real-time manipulation of a hurricane on that screen. That's exactly what you're looking at.
But when you look at these frequencies, it's almost like they're all triggered at the same time. They're all coming alive at the same time. And are those happening from like some sort of machine or some sort of technology that's turning on and emitting these frequencies to literally push this hurricane in this direction?
Absolutely. That's a completely coordinated network. It's an AI-controlled coordinated network.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so glad somebody else said AI. Next red Doppler radar. Let me take a look. Oh, wow. Look, there it is. Done a pretty good job keeping it out of Georgia. But those in southern Georgia, I'm sure, are feeling the winds and the rain. And, well, this has made landfall. And what did I say? It would make landfall by like 7. Well, it's 7:02. It's made landfall. What is happening? Oh, man. Makes landfall. So it's early. Well, I guess not for them. What am I saying? Okay, because they're 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. I think because I so want to be back on the East Coast that I imagine I'm there. All right, so let me just see. So I guess the storm surge has not really been that devastating yet. That would be good. Tornadoes spawned, ripped through Florida. Well, that's what I've been showing you, but it looks like more damage right there. Let's check out JLR because he is there on top of it. Where are you, JLR? Where are you in Florida? Naples? No. I don't know. Looks like he's been sitting in his car for a while.
This is insane.
Yeah, being in.
What in the world?
If you haven't been in very high winds before, it can get pretty scary. So,
A sign flying around. It's crazy.
is this the storm surge that we are seeing? This flooding on the streets?
Got debris everywhere.
But so far, it doesn't seem to be the abject monster that they were claiming it would be. But we don't know yet. There's this guy who strapped down his house.
Straps and hooks. Pedro Casares showing us his unconventional approach to keeping his Orlando home intact through Hurricane Milton.
Preparing my house for the hurricane. Right now, as you can see, the hooks on the floor, they're 8 feet deep of cement. They have rods in between, and it's to hold the friction of the roof from lifting.
His daughter.
Wow. That's preparing. Okay, so God, I hope it's not that bad. Okay. Think about how really unhealthy Americans are, how much of life is being affected by electromagnetic frequencies, those birds dropping dead onto the deck of a cruise outside of Florida, all of the tornadoes, frequencies coming from, my God, every which direction. So when we think about, there's no fighting this, not at this point. The window of opportunity was years ago. And we know that Americans, they do not have the capacity to unite and stop fighting over their really just piddly, insignificant differences. They'll keep it up. And that's why we really need to be doing the work of, building community and continuing to be a better self every day. Okay. I do have a video on my channel. Unfortunately, I cannot remember, but years ago, the so-called lightning in the clouds that you could see go on for hours and hours and hours. And I'm sure many of you have seen it. Okay, now we have it going in Milton, right? I actually found out what is going on, but this is not normal lightning. And it does come from like electricity and electromagnetic frequencies. And it's all over. It's not just, off the coast of Key West, Florida. I have, it's in Arizona, it's in South Carolina, it's in Montana. It is all over. Look at this. Looks like a lighthouse. Energy weapons mounted on planes, attacking people at night. We are being attacked. And something very strange, actually, is happening to me here in very quiet town, Idaho. Every day I'm experiencing dizziness that can be bad enough to bring on a slight, fortunately, well, my brain is definitely going. Vertigo. Couldn't remember. Vertigo episode. Even today, I got it sitting here and I had to hold on just to walk 2 feet to the bed. Yeah, life has changed greatly for me. I'm not quite sure what is going on, but the weather here is unusual, still very hot, dry, very dry, and I've never experienced my lips getting so dry. It's our environment is not conducive to feeling well and really living life. And there's a lot of, differences, between here and there and there. But here, there, and there, it's all unhealthy. It's not going to get any better. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a lot of links here on this tweet, a lot of good links, of all of the fabulous directed energy weapons that they have for us.
Have you seen what's going on out there these days at night? Probably not, because you're too busy on the phone or watching television. So let's show you what they're doing out there at night. Prepare to be amazed at this footage as they're calibrating energy weapons, calling it safe and effective for geographical purposes. Oh, it's for mapping. It's just so that we know exactly where you are. There's nothing to be concerned about as they fly over, beaming you with mystery tech. It's almost like they're spraying you like bugs with the chemtrails, but this is vastly different. What's important to understand here is that this is a solid state energy weapons platform. It can be tuned into whatever frequency that they want. Right now it's visible green, but at the push of a button, it's invisible, microwaving you, sending waves of microwave frequencies or whatever frequency they choose. This is a proof of concept, and it goes way beyond safe and effective. And it's just another thing that we've been monitoring here at Stranger Than Fiction News. These energy weapons have been massively deployed everywhere. Boeing is one of the largest energy weapon manufacturers in the world right now. They don't care about planes anymore, as you can see. They're worried about beaming people from planes. That's big business. That's what everybody wants in the military, in the deep state. It's the next frontier. If you're not absolutely shocked by this footage, you should be. You should be paying attention. Unfortunately, most people flunked out of science, and so they don't really appreciate what this technology can do. But it can beam you as planes fly by. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Beaming people as planes fly by. But that's not it.
The link is in the chat. This is a 14-minute video with a lot of very good information, and we are being so destroyed. Have I said that I hate evil winning? Have I mentioned that before? I really hate it winning. So, let me just see. Are they running along the fence line? Trapped in here? Yeah, they're fucking trapped in there, I think. I hope at the tail end I'm seeing them get out. Wyoming. Wyoming. Look at this.
This is how legends are made. Shit.
That's getting hot.
This is how legends are made.
There's a lot of songs that I don't know if it's copyright strike or not. Copyright strike time, but yeah, Wyoming. And it doesn't seem as if there's a lot of press on this. Not at all. Okay. And, oh, if you remember, or if you've seen it on your own, but I did include it in a live stream, how there was a military helicopter flying very low to where there was a center set up for donations and supplies, and flying so low that, well, yeah, created a lot of damage here.
Carolina National Guard is investigating this incident with one of its helicopters. Take a look here. A viewer shared this video.
It was the National Guard.
All news tonight, the North Carolina National Guard is investigating this incident with one of its helicopters. Take a look here. A viewer shared this video of the chopper coming entirely too close to Helene Recovery Distribution Site and blowing around a lot of items. This happened in Burnsville. Now, in a series of social media posts, the National Guard says this happened as they tried to deliver generators to the area to provide power to that distribution site. They say the crew did board that landing and left the area when they saw what was happening. The National Guard says the crew is grounded for now, and they're working with the organization to identify how much damage the crew.
How could that pilot not see where he was flying?
The area to provide
considering
power. They say the crew did board that landing.
This all over the parking lot, and that pilot couldn't get that flying low would cause that kind of damage. Come on. Okay, so there are people who are still up in the mountains, North Carolina, Tennessee, rescuing animals.
Dogs and God won't ever let you down. They listen when you're talking, just happy you're around.
I don't think that can be played. Think of all of the animals that are affected by all of this. Wyoming, the fires, California, the fires, the flooding, it's all over, the hurricanes. And now again, we've got it going on in Florida. And it looks like also southern Georgia. But thank God we have people like that, right? Yeah. All right. Band together. Do our best to help those suffering the consequences. And yeah, the manifestation of activated nanobots. These lovely lines that look like precipitation. Sorry. They're evaporating any precipitation coming further into Georgia. You can see it. We don't want you. Look, you got a ship of fools. Nanobots flying in the opposite direction. What the hell is going on, Mother Nature? Are you drunk? NEXRAD radar steering this hurricane that has made landfall. Looks weird, but all right. Stay safe, everybody. We have Floridians I have Floridians as subscribers. I'd like to hear from them. I'd like to hear from them. Boy, living has become quite the job, and it doesn't pay well. Live honestly and speak honestly. It's the only way that we can manifest anything different. And help your neighbors, help those in your community, check on the elderly, find out how they're doing. Yeah. All righty. Thank you for showing up. Hope to see you tomorrow night. And we'll take it from there. Be safe. Good night. Good luck. Ciao, guys. What is it, you little one? What is it? Come here. I'm going to get your cheese. He loves sharp cheddar cheese. Little one doesn't like treats. I have to give him some extra sharp. He has a fine palate. Good night, everybody.